growing up, in the northwest of Ireland, it's like, what do you want to be when you get older? I want to be a footballer, like, but realistically, that's never going to happen. Up here, you don't even think scouts will even come up here to watch you. But to get spotted and to get, not taken away from this because I love it here as well, but to get to the Premier League and to the promised land, call it what you want, is very special.
So this is the old place where it all sort of started. I don't know if you can sort of imagine, but this bit of the end wasn't here. That big extension at the far side wasn't there. And the roof extension wasn't there. So if you can imagine, it's just this little small bungalow. We were all sort of crammed in there, brothers and sisters, and great times.
When I was 4, my mum died of cancer, and then my dad had he stood up before that, but my aunties offered to each to try and sort of lessen him and stuff, and he was having none of it. Like, so, my mum's sort of dying wish was to keep us together as a family, and he'd certainly done that.
She got sick. Her first complaint was in February of 1980, and I thought she had cancer of every part of the body but the part where it was, and it was in the spine. At that stage it was beyond repair.
Do you feel like losing her so young, you missed out on an opportunity to get to know her?
Yeah, very much so. She missed my international debut, she missed me playing in the Premier League, and she missed loads of things, but you can't change what happened, and it's just tough that you can't replace it, you can never get over it, but you just got to learn to live with it, and yeah, she missed out on lots, yeah.
We didn't have any money as such. We had a hard upbringing, and we had a market garden business, and we used to have a little shop here at the side of the house, and on the weekend, on a Friday night and all day Saturday, we'd go around all the houses, knock on doors, fruit and vegetables, some hundreds and hundreds of doors every weekend. That's what we had to do to get sort of food on the table and a shirt on your back or whatever they say.
It looks a beautiful garden now, but back in the day, this is where the vegetables were growing, and we spent hours and hours on our hands and knees with, bags around our knees and just weeding vegetables and getting the crops together to sell them at the side of the house here, and of course on the road. My sisters used to come out. They never used to work on the fields. My sisters, they used to come out and my dad had a referee's whistle, would you believe, and he blew the whistle, and we'd be halfway down the field because it's a long field to the other side. It's about an acre long. And we'd be like bags off your knees, like sprinting up to the house. We were starving, get the sandwich in, and after about 20 minutes, right, back to work we would go. Like, you wouldn't get an hour or anything for lunch. It'd be 20 minutes if you're lucky, and back down to the field.
I realise what a hard day's work is, and sometimes you read newspapers or social media and you go, these footballers, they don't know what a hard day's work is and all this, and I can certainly tell you I know what a hard day's work is, and we never get paid for it, we just had to work, and that was the way it was.
This is home. Welcome in. Lots of pictures, brothers, sisters, family members. A few sporty pictures over there, but you can see in this wall they're all, my brothers and sisters are highly educated people. And then you got me, the black sheep of the family, who play football. And this one up here is my first communion. That's me in the middle there. And obviously brothers, sisters, and funny story about my 2 sisters. My dad used to cut their hair really short, and one day he's in the shop and the guy goes, 2 lovely boys you got there, Seamus. And Michelle never lived that. Michelle's still raging about it like 30 years later, but just little memories like that come sort of flooding back.
Front garden was where it all started, really. My 3 brothers were sort of jumpers for goalposts and shots and 2v2s out there, and my dad used to play as well, of course, and he used to win these trophies, and then we'd play for these trophies in the front garden, had little mini tournaments and stuff.
I was a goalkeeper too, and Shay always stood at the goalpost with me, while the others would have been out kicking the ball and playing about behind the goals and what have you.
And then obviously going into later life, then we played for the school and I played for the local team, Lifford Celtic, of course, and that's when I got noticed by scouts across the water. Yeah, I mean, I went over to Manchester United for a couple of weeks training, and my dad had the decision more so me, because I was still very young, of course, and he felt that, I was leaving home. It was, how quick can we get him into the first team to play first team football? And Peter Schmeichel was only at the club not that long, I don't think, and You know, my dad felt he did a good, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years.
Shay would have been 30 years of age before he would have got into that first team thing, you know.
We felt the quickest way to get into the first team, and that's all my dad ever wanted, was me to play first team football, was to go to Glasgow Celtic. I was on £100 a week as an apprentice, and they offered me the professional terms, and I think I was going to be on less nearly than what I was as an apprentice, you know. And it was Lou McCarry was the manager at the time, and he was just take it or leave it. And my dad is, you know, can be hot-headed at times as well, and he was like, well, you've sacrificed 2 years of your life, and you've done everything right.
And he said, what am I going to do? I said, don't worry, I said, I'll get you sorted. And I did. Within 10 days, I had him at Blackburn Rovers.
A huge vote of confidence in a young goalkeeper from Donegal. Kenny Dalglish gives Shay Given his debut. A big day for him.
I was making my debut. I was away at Selhurst Park and against the Crazy Gang, like you can imagine that. Small change rooms, and they had this ghetto blast. I don't know what was in the speaker system and their thingy, but the walls were vibrating. And then I was thinking, here we go, this is baptism of fire in the Premier League for me at 19. So, but I was coming out in the tunnel, and Tim Sherwood was our captain, and of course I know Vinnie Jones and all these were shouting all these shouts, let's get into this young keeper, and a few more choice words than that, but like, and Tim was kind of laughing, I don't mind them, we're just trying to unsettle you and stuff, you know.
Ikoku tried the overhead. That was a brave claim by Shay Given.
I played well personally, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but it was just nice to get that Premier League debut, and as I say, it was a tough place to go back in the day, the Crazy Gang. It was a baptism of fire for me, yeah.
Defenders falling in front of him. Good save by Given. He already has a reputation, the young Irishman, as a keeper of immense promise.
Here's the Blackburn Rovers, Premier League champions of 94, 95, and there's a young Shay Given in there. I didn't play any games, but I was on the bench a few times, and I was part of that great squad, and you know, they won the trophy obviously, but I was just starting off there. The first year at Blackburn was amazing.
It was funny the day I signed, it was a bit of a rush kind of day. I was doing a medical and I signed, and it was like the longest ever, and then that night we had a game actually at Accrington Stanley, like a sort of friendly thing, and I had a beast. I think we lost 3 or something, 2 of the goals were my fault or something like this.
Shay was a disaster. I'd say there's nerves and everything else. He let in 2 goals and my wife would have stopped. Like.
And the next morning, Kenny's the first person to see me. He goes, good job you signed that contract yesterday, eh? And he was like, but then he was laughing. He was like, obviously he was kind of serious and joking at the same time. And
I was kind of a wee bit peeved at this because I knew he was good. And I turned around and I was shaking hands with him, and I said, I'll tell you, you mark my words tonight, Shay will be a senior international goalkeeper before his 20th birthday.
Mick McCarthy gave me the opportunity at 19, and that was on the back of playing week in, week out, and playing well as well. And you know, Mick McCarthy deserves great credit to give me that opportunity at such a young age as well.
I used to be a model. You could probably tell me now you never think I was a model, but I used to be a model back in the day for pennies. Myself and Mick McCarthy there, my younger modelling days. Don't know what happened since then.
I think Shay's was all right, the pennies one. It was kind of, the stick he got was because it was with the manager, and it was the dad and lad kind of combo, wasn't it? Which is never great when he's the manager of the team. And football's such a harsh, the dressing room's such a harsh place, isn't it, with banter and that. So he took Shay's stick, but yeah, he would have enjoyed. I know Shay likes a bit of modelling.
This time tomorrow in Milan, yeah?
Over here we have 2 quite important jerseys for me. The big games in probably my Irish career was Iran at home and Iran away. 2 big games to get to the World Cup finals and to realise a dream that, you know, I'm going to go and play in the World Cup.
The 2002 World Cup was a great experience.
No makeup on or nothing.
I enjoyed the supporters, the crack and the company, you know. They were so fond of him. You know, I had this time of my life because I was being treated like a god because I was his dad, like, you know. And I milked them as much as I could, you know.
Well, that's probably the highlight of my international career, if I'm being honest, playing the World Cup finals. And just in my head, I was thinking, oh my God, now I'm actually walking out in Japan, you know, as the Ireland's #1 goalkeeper. And I can imagine, I'm just thinking all the young kids back in Donegal or back in Ireland, you know, pretending to be me. I used to pretend I was Packy Bunner in the garden and diving around, and now these young people coming through are probably pretending to be me, which is mad.
Breaking news now. Reports suggest that the Republic of Ireland captain Roy Keane has been sent home from the World Cup by his manager Mick McCarthy following an argument between the two. We'll have more on this story as we get it.
Well, actually, when it did happen, it was like, did that really happen? It was kind of one of them kind of moments, and actually Gary Kelly broke the ice about there was some salsa band or something going on before, and he goes, get that band back in here, like you could have cut the air with a knife or whatever, but he was just trying to break it up. But when the sort of dust settled, it was just like a bit surreal what happened, you know.
Problem was, we probably had the best centre midfielder in that tournament at the time playing for us, and you know, you lose some of that quality that always comes a what if.
Once Roy left, I think it probably gave us a bit of a siege mentality and brought us even closer together.
Shay was a big part of that. He was a big voice in the dressing room, in the meetings, and he's got one of them opinions that you'd respect as well. He sees it from all angles. He's a very honest person, Shay.
We done well in the World Cup. You just like to know how would you have done if Roy Keane had been there, and what would have been different, bro, I suppose.
Newcastle playing football with a joie de vivre and a panache that is engaging the country.
Newcastle just finished second or something in the Premier League. I'm going to a club that's challenging for the Premier League title and Champions League football, and you know, I was just couldn't wait to get up there and get part of the great club that Newcastle is, and great faith that Kenny showed to me again as a 21-year-old, and he put me straight in as number one in the Premier League, which a lot of managers maybe wouldn't have done. You see it now shot back and they don't actually show it. I took an absolutely great cross. There was a deep cross. Man, to get it, I've gone full length. I've dropped it down and Dane Double's gone, aye. He's seen the opportunity, come up behind me and he's knocked it into the empty net. And then the joke after it came was the only Irishman not to know where Dublin is, and it was like, had to live with that forever, but it's okay now, we can have a laugh about it now, but at the time Kenny Dalglish wasn't over at the end of the game.
A chance to win the game for Aston Villa. Still the Rasmus out, keeps his feet, and that has got to be a penalty and a red card, and Newcastle down to 10 men.
I thought the referee was further down the pitch, if I'm perfectly honest with you, but as an 18-year-old lad you will do anything, and especially when there's 52,000 there. I didn't want to be getting sent off in a game which obviously it turned out to be a disaster for us.
That's fighting broke out between two Newcastle players. They're fighting amongst themselves. It's Lee Boyer and Kieran Dyer. Frustration really creeping in now. 3-0 down. It's all going horribly wrong for Newcastle United here.
People thinking now, did that really happen in the Premier League game, that two of your own teammates started a scrap in the middle of the pitch and both got sent off? Like, it was just madness really, and I think it was something as simple as one didn't pass the ball to the other one. Next thing they were like tearing strips at each other in the middle of the pitch, and I remember Gareth Barry, I think from Aston Villa, he come and split them up, and then we come in to change him. Alan Shearer was fuming, like, and he had a proper go at both of them, and it was just a strange game.
Through for Harewood. Oh, he was onside. It clatters into the goalkeeper. That will definitely be a free kick. Went in hard on the goalkeeper there.
Probably to his credit a little bit, he actually took his feet away, but instead of his feet hit me, both his knees hit me, like, hard, because he's a big guy, like, and basically punctured my bowel.
When I seen that, I knew it was a painful one. When you see Shay Kevin stay down, and the amount of pain that was in his face, you knew he was struggling. You could just see him screaming, and it was a bad one.
I had to get taken off a couple minutes to go, and badly winded. I was walking and stuff, and he just go and have a shower, you'll be fine. Well, not you'll be fine, but just they'll have a look at you after, and come out of the shower. Next thing is, oh, something bad's happened here, and basically the boil was leaking into my stomach, and what it's like someone pouring acid into your stomach, and it was just like as if someone was stabbing with a knife, and literally just shut down. Like, lads were, I think it was Scotty Parker, they was sprinting out, shouting for an ambulance out the door. I think it was quite surreal for them, because I collapsed in the bed, like, and I was out of it, like, and no one knew obviously what was up. Last thing I remember is playing football, and the next thing I'm waking up in the hospital in London, like, with a considerable scar down the middle of my stomach, and you know, it's a life-saving operation. Without that, obviously, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. Well, it was frustrating because I was there so long, like 11 and a half years of my career, and at the time Mike Ashley was it's as if his heart wasn't in it. He just was selling the best players and, you know, replacing them with maybe mediocre players and free transfers and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, that's not the club I joined all them years ago. You know, we're just missed out on the title and we're in the Champions League football, and now we're scraping about, you know, down in the bottom, fighting relegation.
I was devastated to see him go because he didn't just lose a top-class goalkeeper. You know, he lost a leader there as well. He was a huge character around the dressing room. It was a big miss for us. It really was, because after that, for a good probably couple of seasons, we struggled.
I was making a debut, I think, at 33-year-old, and I was nervous because it was like nearly 12 years since my last debut for a club. You know, it's just a bit weird.
Shay Given takes his bow at the City of Manchester Stadium.
He made 6 or 7 unbelievable saves in it, and it was just like a new instant hero for the City fans.
Oh, and now it's Alfonso Alves, and there's still no way past Shay Given for him.
You know, I was man of the match, which was fantastic. I come off, and you know, when you join a new club, you have to impress, you know, your teammates, of course, but you've got a whole new set of fans to impress as well. And you know, you can make a man of the match performance in your first game. I'm not saying like you just down tools after that, but it's a statement, because Mark Hughes dropped Joe Hart straight away, put me in the team, and it was like, you can see why I put him in the team, because he's a good goalkeeper. So it was a great start for me.
He had a great season at City, and unfortunately it didn't work out for him, but it wasn't through his own fault.
Again, left, please.
He said, like, Shay Given is one of the top 5 goalkeepers in the world, and you know, that was a big statement, they say, and it was mad how it turned around. I went to the opposite of that about a year later. I wasn't in the top, I don't know, 105 goalkeepers in the world, because I couldn't even play in the League Cup games or any cup games. He just wanted me out of the club. I don't know why or what I'd done on him, but you know, he was a fiery character, Mancini, and fell out with a lot of people at the football club.
Diaby's strike! An expression of anguish from Shay Given.
When I've saved it like that, the shoulders just popped out, like, you know, they couldn't get it back in either. You know, I had the ambulance job again, and yeah, I didn't play the rest of that season, and Joe came back, and then I was starting to think, you know what, this is not looking good. He could easily have like brought me in and said, Shay, I'm going to start with Joe, but you know, you're pushing him hard, it's so close, it's a tough decision. You know, you're going to play in the cup games, I want you around the club, because something happens to him, you're in, and you're the perfect place. Anything along them lines, but it was like, no, you go, just go. No, just leave, whatever. It was kind of that sort of attitude. You know, that was a proper kick in the teeth. I was like, he definitely didn't like me for some reason.
So our two teams take to the field. Interesting times these for the Irish international Shay Given. Only joined last season from Manchester City, and already rumours he could be on his way out.
The first year, obviously, Alex McLeish was in, then he got sacked at the end of that season, and then Paul Lambert came in, and you know, it was, I think he was told he needs to cut back wages and cut back this, so there was a bit of a bomb squad. At Aston Villa, it was me, Darren Bent, Stephen Ireland, Charles and Sogbeer. I think there may have been 1 or 2 more, Barry Bannon perhaps. There was quite a few of us.
Certainly Shay would have been a higher earner at the club, so he was prime target to go.
Aston Villa were still paying these players their wages and stuff, but they weren't doing nothing to the first team. They weren't bringing nothing to the club, and you couldn't sell them either, because 1, they weren't match fit, and 2, no one's seen them play anymore. They didn't know, you know, how good they were, how well they were playing. It was a tough period.
Given hasn't played since he picked up a problem against the world champions back in October with the Republic of Ireland.
The frustrating thing about that, I only joined Stoke, and I was out for such a long period, and it was like, you feel like you're letting the club down, and you know, you've just sort of joined for one last paycheck, but that was never the case. I wanted to, you know, show to Stoke that I was there for more than that, and thankfully I got back fit and actually played the last few games of that season.
It's a sensational save by Shay Given.
The only mistake I've say I made in the football field was playing too long, and I have told Shay there times too that he should consider, you know, packing it on. He's 41, coming 42 now in April, and maybe he should just stick to the television now, like or whatever. But he hasn't admitted that he is retired yet.
I'm not officially retired yet, but you know, I know if I don't play this season again, then I'll be packing in, you know. But I still feel fit enough. I've been training actually with Macclesfield, my local team.
I spent a lot of time with him at the end of the season, and you know, we had some real, you know, in-depth conversations about careers and where we were going, and you know, he's very much at a crossroads of his life. He wants to carry on playing.
You know, it can be a big void in your life when the football's gone. But the media stuff, I've been doing media stuff and appearances and different things, and you know, I think that's been keeping me busy, keeping me involved in football, keeping me watching games, and you know, I'm still learning, of course, but I'd like to maybe see a future in media and going down that route.
Right. Hello. Where's Chris? What's he doing?
No, I never really thought I was going to write a book because I've been asked for quite a long time now. I think it's a good sort of legacy as well, you know, for my family and my dad and all, and you know, you could see him at the book signing. He was proud, like, to be there and everyone getting autographs, and you know, what a great turnout as well from the fans.
The entire county is very proud of him. What you seen there today, they were from all over the county there today, and people that went out of their way to come up to get a book and sign it.
How are you, man? All right. You're not speaking to me? No, no fancy. You could see the kids were in awe of me, and I was asking some of their names and they just couldn't even speak. You know, it's just mad that you have that effect on some young kids. You get a bit emotional even talking about and thinking that way, that these people, you know, look up to you in that sort of manner, and that's, you know, you got to be thankful for these people. They support you all them years, but you know, it's when they say that as well, it's very special.
Come on closer. Get the book in. Get the book in. Try and sell the books, lads. Come on. Your dad's over here. Look.
All right, how are you? Yes, Dan? How are you? You're as fit as a fiddle?
Oh, I'm
what?
Still running.
Are you?
I'm doing a wee bit, you know.
How many miles are you doing?
Well, I'm up now to 10 again. Like,
Burnsy and Wally are probably sort of two of my best friends, and they were in the same class as me up to school up the road just, and they're both postmen, would you believe? Wally still lives at home with his mum, which is random as it is, 41. And Donald Burnsy, he has built a house in his dad's back garden.
I have to get out on the roads running with you. You're not getting problems with your knees and ankles and hips.
Killed with arthritis.
Killed with arthritis, and he's still running 10 miles a day.
And it's mad to think about it, like, and I understand why they have done, and you know, it is a good place to live, don't get me wrong, and I love coming back here as well.
How you doing? You all right, grand, you? Come on in here, I get a pen, I've no pen.
You're on detour.
Aye.
You're on your way up, so I'll get her to go.
I'll just be in there, aye. No problem, yeah. No worries, good to see you.
Oh, right,
He's
going to
going to come back, he said. We're going to get some food.
We had one of our, like, obviously many friends, and one of them was Conor McGettigan, and he was kind of, his family were kind of well-to-do, and obviously more money than ourselves, which is fine, but he'd walk along with these brand new white trainers on and his jeans, and we'd be on our hands and knees and sort of weeding vegetables, and he'd be going, all right, lads, what's the crack? Like, how are you getting on and all this?
Hi lads, how you doing?
This is the man we talk about.
Hi, how's it going? How you doing? How you doing?
And he would just sort of slowly walk, and we'd be crawling along the ground, you know, and off he would go. We'd never offer any help or nothing, but you know, he's a good friend of the families, of course, and just two sides of the story, I suppose.
I can't really defend that, to be fair, like. That's true, like. That's true, yeah.
You know, I love all that kind of stuff. They're just your friends from school, your best mates, and they always will be, no matter if I was a postman or a Sparky or whatever, we're still best mates, and I was lucky to play for Ireland in the Premier League and all this kind of stuff, and you know, they're lucky as well. They've got great lives, so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're unlucky to be here, but I'm just saying it's mad how different people's lives and paths go. Never thought, you know, leaving here, the rural part of northwest of Ireland, to make 134 caps spanned over 20 years. It's amazing.
Saved by Shay Given.
He's a legend in Ireland, that's the simple truth of it.
Curled in, it goes an awful long way, fantastic save by Given. How did he keep that out?
I think he'll forever be remembered in Irish times as the best goalkeeper that Ireland have ever had.
Odewingie! Cleared off the line by Shay Given.
Oh, I'm very, very proud. Never did I have ever dreamed that he would be that good. I knew he was good, but I didn't think he'd go so far as to achieve what he did.
There was a hint of a chance there. There still might be for Rooney. Given there again.
You know, he's one of them players that you love. You just love Shay Given. He's just one of them. And yeah, I'm quite fond of Shay.
you have any regrets?
You know what, life's really short at times, and regrets is something, you know, what's the point? Where do regrets get you? Growing up, I had the poster in the back of my door with Liam Brady, and underneath it says, thanks to football. And I kind of look at my career and I think, you know, thanks to football, thanks to this ball of air, call it what you want, has given me a passport to all these amazing stadiums around the world, you know, playing the World Cup finals, Japan and Korea, to the San Siro in the Champions League in Barcelona, Old Trafford, the Etihad, St James's Park, and then the list. And been so lucky that this ball, call it what you want, the passport to see the world and to enjoy it, of course.